I was absolutely intimidated in the beginning.
Yeah.
When you're hanging out with the people you saw on the TV screen, on the red carpets and in the movies. And, I didn't know my value, so to speak, in those spaces. And then a lot of people will try to tell you don't have value. I actually had just had a project stolen by someone, a television project stolen from someone who I admired from childhood.
Yeah.
And I was cut out of the process. It went all the way to network without me.
Wow.
And I was upset.
Yes.
I was bitter.
Yes.
I was depressed every time they platform a young Black entertainer, specifically and particularly male.
Yeah.
There is a glass ceiling. And once you reach that certain level of fame, they pull the rug from underneath you. And it's disheartening. If I could have one more conversation with him, it would be a salute to the man that he was.
Hey, family, I need you to go get you a cup and a saucer because we're going to get all the tea today. My brother is in the building, and Hollywood is no longer confidential. He has just written an amazing book. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about his life. We're going to talk about what's going on in the body of Christ. We're going to talk about what's happening in the streets. From Hollywood to hallelujah, my man is here, Steve Jones.
Man.
Welcome, sir.
What an introduction.
Yeah.
Bars.
Listen,
flow.
We tried. I'm glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here, man. It's an honor.
No, really. You have shown us how to double dribble, how to be in the world but not of it.
Amen.
Really. To take a mountain of influence and really, if we went through your phone, it would just be the BET Awards.
Right.
It's all at your disposal. And you let your light so shine.
Yes.
How in the world have you been able to be bilingual, to be able to speak to the culture
absolutely.
And speak to the church at the same time? Because a lot of people can't do it.
Right. I think that my generation, those of us who grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, we had a tangible blueprint in yourself.
Wow.
The trail that you blazed. From the fashion sense to letting us know that we could be intellectual. We didn't have to live within a limited social construct. Those of us who came out of the church, we didn't have to be stuck. We could be multidimensional.
Yes.
And so following your career all these years,
everything
you said about me, you to the 100th degree.
Thank you.
So we had good examples.
Yeah.
I always say representation matters. So television, media, seeing people like you in the spotlight who could talk in the church house and on the street.
Tell me how you were able to temper yourself. One of my favorite quotes is, never meet your heroes because it's going to let you down. How have you been able to be in these kind of rooms and not fan out and really just keep your foot on the ground and be like, I'm supposed to be here. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not insecure. I'm not threatened. This is where God has placed me. A lot of us, in the words of Bishop Jakes, don't know how to maximize the moment. How have you been able to do that?
I think it's about being intentional with who you keep around you. For me, it was my circle who could see it for me before I could see it for myself.
Yeah.
And they would affirm me. And those affirmations, I ended up laying hold to them. Even if I didn't believe them on a conscious level, subconsciously, something was happening on the inside where I finally stepped into knowing that I was more than enough. I was absolutely intimidated in the beginning.
Yeah.
When you're hanging out with the people you saw on the TV screen, on the red carpets and in the movies. And, I didn't know my value, so to speak, in those spaces. And then a lot of people will try to tell you don't have value. And even if they don't tell you that directly, it's indirectly through their actions. So it was those affirmations from the people in my circle who lifted me up, who could see it for me again before I could see it for myself.
No, that's powerful.
And then I was able to step into what they spoke over me. And of course, the word.
Yeah.
The word of God, affirming myself through the word and knowing that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So
My late mother used to say the number one killer of black people is not fentanyl, is not cocaine, is not crack. Said the number one killer of black people is low self-esteem.
It's powerful.
How do you sit amongst giants and not dwarf?
Mm-hmm.
How are you able to realize that accolades are not necessary affirmation? How have you been able to navigate that space when a lot of times successful people, I need you all to hear this, a lot of successful people are mean people? That's not true.
Oh, it's incredibly true. You coming with the 1-2.
Yeah, I didn't say no
old
names.
School
I didn't say
Leonard,
no names.
like you coming out the gate, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I haven't always done a good job at it. There were a lot of people that I met, and you have a perception. I'm from the Midwest.
Yeah.
And I was raised in that limited social construct that we talked about.
Yeah.
And I believed that there were certain people who were what they portrayed on screen. And then you get behind the veil, Bishop, and you see the real.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, like my first 5-6 years, I just couldn't reconcile who I fell in love with on the television screen and who I was meeting in real life.
Wow.
And so it was interesting. I ended up so hurt from those situations that my personality shifted. The open, upbeat, happy, bright personality I had, I then became closed off and guarded because I wanted to protect my heart, but I didn't know how. I didn't have the tools.
Yeah.
I hadn't went to therapy. I hadn't began reading self-help books at that time. And so then I actually took on a reputation of, oh, he's a this, he's a that, he's not nice, no, it's actually, I've been so disappointed and let down that I'm just trying to safeguard my heart.
Yeah.
And so I saw an interview with a woman named Marianne Williamson. And at that time, I actually had just had a project stolen by someone, a television project stolen from someone who I admired from childhood.
Yeah.
And I was cut out of the process. It went all the way to network without me.
Wow.
And I was upset.
Yes.
I was bitter.
Yes.
I was depressed. I had heard about depression before, but, I didn't have empathy. I hadn't cultivated that skill yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be like, oh, God bless those people dealing with depression. And then it was me. And so I say all that to say I was watching television. I saw someone named Marianne Williamson. And she said something that is rooted in church theology, but she said it in a way that I could lay hold to it at that time. She said, you can have a grievance or you can have a miracle, but you cannot have both. And when I say that resonated with me.
Yeah.
And that day I made a conscious decision. I'm going to move forward in love and forgiveness. I'm going to work on me. I'm going to do the work. And the work that people say they do shows up in crisis.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was able to lean into that. And now today, a decade later, I love who I am.
No, that's great. And a lot of us have a wrestling match internally.
Yeah.
Of trying to separate the stage from the sidewalk. I absolutely love Cliff Huxtable.
Yes.
I love him. I'm hurt by Bill Cosby. And having to be able to walk that line.
Yeah.
And church people don't know how to do it. I still believe I can fly.
Absolutely.
I still believe it.
And you can.
I think about it night and day.
Spread your wings.
I'm going to fly away. But Robert, that thing, I'm wounded for his own transgression. I'm wounded. He's the singularly most gifted person of my generation. And I can't even play him on Spotify.
Or you'll be canceled. Well,
no, they canceled. Yeah, he's not even available.
Right.
He's not even available. When you are in that space and behind the scenes, behind the curtain, you are eating Michelin 5-star restaurants, but you can't tell them about the chef. Is that in this book?
No, because you didn't help me write the foreword.
Well, you asked Brandy.
Well, I reached out. I don't know what happened, so I had to go with Brandy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, listen, I'm Team Monica, so I didn't know what to do. I'm joking. I'm joking. I love both of them. I love Moesha. I love everybody.
Okay.
I want to ask you, as the founder of the Hollywood Confidential, I want to ask you just some rapid fire questions.
For sure.
And I want to ask, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way, but I believe clinically, you, like me, who are in the space, have to have a bipolar existence. It's got to be two different minds that you're walking through, right? So I want to ask you, as a Christian and somebody in the industry, if you want to meld the two, that's up to you. What do we do about Diddy?
Great question.
Yes.
Ironically, had the opportunity to work with Diddy.
No way.
On a tour in 2016.
Okay. Y'all zoom in.
The tour was called The Women of Bad Boys. So we had Faith Evans, Marianne Gibson, Total, and Faith.
Now, what were you doing?
Now, it was through Hollywood Confidential.
Yes. So you helped put it together.
We put this all together.
Have you been subpoenaed?
Not as of yet.
Okay. Okay.
It was for the 20th anniversary of Bad Boy.
Wow.
And what an honor, because I love that you asked this question. He was one of the early on points of representation that I had, such as yourself, where I could see myself reflected on television.
Yes.
And so I modeled a lot of what I was doing after him.
Me too.
And so it's funny, I was sharing with some friends, it's crazy to have to learn how to grieve the loss of someone who's still living.
Ooh!
He's still here, but
yes,
cancel culture has caused us to eradicate everything that he built and did for the culture.
Yes.
And so it's
so
difficult.
I used Puff as a model for me, is that whenever he changed his name, he changed his brand. All right?
Okay.
So when I'm Puff, I'm Bad Boy. Right?
Yeah.
When I'm Diddy, I'm Chirac.
Absolutely.
When I'm Puffy, I'm Sean John.
Mm-hmm.
So every iteration of his name was the introduction of a new brand.
Right.
Or a new phase of himself. And it is interesting that only the courts will call him Sean.
Very.
So when do we come back to ourselves? How about Shy? When do we come back to ourselves is in that place of crisis.
Yeah.
And I am waiting to see how this whole court proceeding is going to roll itself out.
Yeah. I feel like as believers, it's our job to love.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we take on the job and the role of judgment. And I don't believe that should be our place. We can call for accountability.
Yes.
We can call for injustice.
Yes.
We can do all those things. But
yes.
When we come into judgment, I think that we're moving into a position that we're not called to be in. And so while I understand what he did is despicable,
yes.
It breaks my heart. My heart goes out to any victims and all victims.
Yes.
I believe their stories. I believe women. I believe anybody who's been, whatever the words are that I probably cannot use on this podcast. But
yes.
I also just don't want this cancel culture. It concerns me.
Yeah. The Saints want to know. You didn't answer that from your professional perch. The Saints want to know, were you at the after party? That's what the Saints want to know.
Can I tell? I'm not going to say a name, but I tried to go to one party.
Yes.
And somebody who knew me, we actually went to church together, fellowship. Yeah. I walked into the party at one of the tour stops.
Yes.
And he walked me right back out the door.
Around what time was this?
Around 9:32 p.m. Central Standard Time.
9:30. Oh no, that was early.
Yeah. And he said, and go home.
Yeah.
And I questioned it. I said, you're right. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
And I wasn't around for any of those things. I don't know.
Because you have been in the industry, you're the founder of Hollywood Confidential, I got to ask you a couple of questions because I need some behind the scenes stuff just to help me to understand. Shannon Sharpe.
Such great questions.
Yes.
Man, what is my thoughts on him?
Yeah. And I want to ask you that of him, but I was reading something from a public intellectual that said, no matter who you are a black man in America. You get to some point of a crescendo where they start pulling the thread. And invariably, whether you lose your mind as Kanye, you find yourself in a drug addiction or codependency of Prince, you find yourself going into underground like Bill Cosby, that something happens because there's an invisible ceiling for successful black men. Do you think that's true, or is that just conspiracy theory?
I believe it.
Yeah.
Call it conspiracy theory. But it seems like every time they platform a young black entertainer, specifically and particularly male, there is a glass ceiling. And once you reach that certain level of fame, they pull the rug from underneath you. And it's disheartening. Every time I see someone come to the forefront, my first thought or inclination is to pray for them and their protection and their longevity in this space, because we are occupying spaces that were built without us in mind as African Americans. And so call it a conspiracy.
Yeah.
I do believe it. And Shannon, I don't know whether you did it or not.
Yes. If we get off of this set and Shannon calls you, your advice, wisdom, counsel to him is what?
Man, take accountability, take ownership.
Yeah.
People love honesty.
Yeah.
And they can connect with that, with a genuine disposition. And maybe you should have listened to Monique and the other warnings about, who you are dating and who you're allowing in your circle to infiltrate your circle. Because everybody with you is not with you.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure he's already had these talking tos, and I'm sure he'll move forward in the future more carefully. But I wish we would think, we've got to safeguard the promise and the dream. So it just hurts my heart. I wouldn't have even given her access to spin the story if it's been spun.
Right.
But that's me. And I'm not here to judge him, right?
Yeah.
But that would be the counsel I offer.
No, that's great. That's insightful. Working in Hollywood, a lot of people may not know that your DNA comes out of gospel industry.
Yeah.
And let me tell you my pet peeve. My pet peeve on social media. It's not your. My pet peeve is gospel artists making posts that read something like this: I have a gig in Chicago tomorrow. Not worship, not praise. I got a gig. And the secularization of gospel music gives me a lot of pause.
Got it.
The rider contracts, seriously, it is, if I'm doing a church conference or doing a revival, my whole team has got to take a collective breath. Not for the guest preacher, but for the artist who's coming. And my issue is how you arrogant without hits.
I knew we was going to be best friends.
Yeah.
I knew it. Yeah. Wow, man. I was on that side. That was my genesis. And I did have that same issue at the time with basically, I didn't understand that. First of all, I didn't understand that the gospel music industry and the gospel of Jesus Christ, two different things.
Two different things.
Again, young, naive.
Yeah.
Didn't understand. And then, those writers were extensive.
Yeah.
Down to the type of water that's needed, to the type of food, to
you drinking spigot water at home.
Okay. Hello.
And now you need chocolate water.
at a particular temperature.
From Trader Joe's.
My God.
You go to Publix, sir. Help me.
Help me to understand.
Yeah. How do you feel as if, and I'm not in other worlds, but are people in like CCM star driven?
I would say so. I haven't had the personal on hand experience, but I believe that there are requirements to bring in any artist of a certain caliber.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna pay you what you weigh. I don't have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying all that comes with it.
It's extra.
Yeah.
It's extra. And I think that there are particular artists that have to make a decision. Am I in this for the ministry or am I in this for the business?
Yeah.
And two things can be true, you know what I'm saying? Like, but my line of thinking was, you know what? This is a lot in faith-based to deal with, not just the financial requirements of the writers, but the egos, the behind the scenes of it all. Again, I just couldn't take it. And I said, well, I can just go deal with this level of foolery and shenanigan in mainstream.
Now, are you a musician?
No.
You're not?
I can sing.
But you don't play anything?
No.
Do you know why I asked you that?
Mm-mm.
All the members of my band wear the hat you got on right now. And they all wear them in church.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do you feel about that?
I'm old school. And this is their first time ever hearing me even say anything. So I ain't had no meeting after church. No, seriously, I haven't pulled them all together. But, you know, I'm saying come as you are, but the whole spirit is I can't tell whether I'm in the jazz age. Yeah, I mean, I just needed you to help me. I needed you to help me. Because a lot of preachers are contending with all the musicians wear sunglasses through service. They're wearing hats through service. Nobody else got a hat or sunglasses on. This is an open call for all church musicians. Comment in the thread below. Tell me why.
Let me advocate on behalf of
musicians. And I'm not against musicians. I'm for them.
Yes, sir. I just feel like no, come as you are is not a scripture.
Yes.
But it has been implied throughout the culture.
Yeah.
And so if this is how I'm coming.
Right, but nobody else in the church got a hat on. But the musicians.
Okay, well.
So I'm saying they got different rules.
Yeah, you also allow them to play and then leave during the sermon.
No, not me. I'm doing roll call. Percussions, present. Trombone, here. No, everybody got to be there.
Yeah.
Everybody got to be there.
I feel like it's a case-by-case scenario, man. If you are disrespected by it, then I should comply and remove that as a musician.
I'm not disrespected. I'm seeing as the world turns. I'm seeing it all shift.
Got it.
Now, you're not a gambling man, are you? That's not a judgment question. It's
absolutely not.
Okay. So in Las Vegas, this is just from my reading and research, not from firsthand experience. Okay. In Las Vegas, if somebody keeps winning at the table, and I'm not a big energy person, but they'll put somebody next to them called a cooler so that they get off of their winning streak.
Yeah.
It changes the vibration of the room and the temperature of that person. It's a cooler. I just got married in November.
Congratulations.
So I was very nervous about having you on this show.
Oh, yeah?
Because you're a cooler. Anybody whose marriage is going well, don't sit next to this guy. And I'm believing we're going to break the curse today. This going to be a deliverance service. It's going to be a stretching out. But this is the curator, not only of Black Confidential, not Hollywood Confidential, not just the author of the book, but he is the progenitor of Black love. We're going to have to rename the show after that. But you've had a series of people who have been on the show. You've had Devon Franklin and his ex-wife, Beyoncé mama and her ex-husband. Who else been on there?
We have a lot of successful couples like
Viola but who else
Davis.
didn't make it? Who else didn't make it?
You want me to say today?
Yes.
Tia Mowry and her husband.
Tia. And the poor, say the husband name.
Corey Hart.
Corey. Poor Corey.
I love them both.
Yeah, we do. We love them.
Niecy Nash, who I adore.
Niece.
I love and adore Niecy Nash.
Yeah, you gotta love Niece. And then they went on the show. So I was scared.
This is like the comment section in real life.
No, I want to
punch it.
No, I want to ask you seriously, as a newly married husband, and you navigating a space with public people. That's a very serious question. What do you advise or counsel? Here's the question: for Black love in public space, because a lot of people take privacy for granted and don't know privacy is a gift. So for those who are in that space, because you have seen for better or for worse, you have seen it, you've walked through it, love the people as individuals and love them as units. So I'm asking you for wisdom and counsel. You have the wisdom without having to have lived the experience.
Yeah.
So what would you advise for couples? And let's go backwards. You don't have to have your page verified. You ain't got to be trending. I'm gonna ask it in two parts. When do you post the person that you dating? When do you make it public? Because that's when it can all fall down.
Okay. You know what? I got to interview so many couples who came on that show.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I knew which ones would make it or which ones would last, but
yeah,
there was an energy, if you will, that you can pick up.
Yeah.
And so I do have expertise in that without having lived the experience.
Yes.
Your flow is unmatched, by the way. It's unparalleled.
Thank you.
I have to say that it's up to the person. It's case by case once again, but I honestly love the idea of protecting everything until there's a ring. Because outside opinions can influence what's happening on the inside. And so I don't recommend anybody do anything until there's a commitment. It's nobody's business.
Yes.
And I understand that social media, we begin to turn.
Do you agree or disagree? Put it in the thread below. Go ahead.
We've turned relationships, we've monetized them. So I understand it's popular to monetize your love now. It's acceptable, but all things in their time.
Yeah.
And so if you're dating, then you're just dating. Even if you're in a committed dating situation, until there's a ring.
Yes.
And sadly, even when there is a ring and when you've done the vows and you've walked on the aisle, it still may not end the way you want it to. So I absolutely would say wait until there is a commitment with that ring, you're engaged. And I think that will help.
I want to ask you a professional opinion, being a church boy and a Hollywood man.
Okay.
Tea is spilled everywhere all the time, even when Starbucks is not close.
Yes, sir.
How has the spirit of tea spilling only happened on the saucer of the church? There are no blogs about what's happening at the mosque. There's nobody going live about tea at the synagogue. But only in the church is there a whole industry on gossiping about the church that would only be comparable to Hollywood Confidential. How has that happened? I don't know nothing that's going on with the Hebrew Israelites. I'm telling you, none of them wives left.
Not a one.
I don't know nothing that's happening in the Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
But it's only in the church that we have a subculture that feeds ferociously. I mean, we are carnivores that eat off of the meat of a dying believer. And do you think that we can change that culture? You just lifted your eyebrows.
Yeah, questions, man. You be flowing.
Man, I'm trying. My producers help me with none of these questions, but she's great.
I gave him a prop and then I took it back.
Yes, it's great.
Man, can it change? Oh man. I believe if people in the pulpit can be committed to showing their fully nuanced selves, not just the curated highlights of holiness, I believe then and only then will the general public give that arena a break.
Yeah.
Because when you position yourself as the authority on holiness, you're walking with Christ in the cool of the day every morning.
Come on now.
You set yourself up for
yes, failure. Not in the cool of the day.
The cool of the day.
Yes.
And so my thing is, be transparent about what's good and bad behind the scenes.
Yes.
Share that not just with your church members, but on social media to the degree. And I'm not saying put out
everything,
a full-on press release about I had infidel. What I'm saying is stop platforming yourself inside of perfection and be real about what's going on.
Be the runway model for grace.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And then that fall, which may be inevitable, maybe not, it'll be a little softer.
Yeah.
So I believe that if we can change on the inside, then externally the response will be different.
I need you to help me settle a debate as a church boy and a Hollywood man.
Yes, sir.
Should the Saints go see Sinner?
Oh, man.
Because it's a debate. I mean, the church world is going crazy. Yeah. Don't go in there. There's demons in there and witchcraft and ancient rituals and voodoo. Man. And I'm like, this is Miles. We got to help Miles.
Miles is
our nephew.
He's one of our own, man.
Yes.
Timothy Figaro.
Come on,
man. Calling my name.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like the descendant thereof.
We got to do it.
Come on, man. We got to support. You know what? Honestly, to those believers who report every day to their profession, that's a secular environment. We don't know their belief system behind the scenes. Yeah. We don't know what they're into, what they practice. And we go and report and swipe our card and collect a check weekly, bi-weekly, monthly.
Yeah.
So why do we hone in only on television and film and the media when it comes to attempting to decipher belief systems?
Yes.
My thing is, all things are lawful but not expedient.
Yes.
Which gives me the opportunity to make a decision. My relationship with Christ is my relationship with Christ.
Yes.
And if he's given me permission to occupy both spaces, as you said, from church boy to Hollywood man, if I don't have a personal conviction about watching that movie, I don't want your opinion. I actually just don't want your opinion. We can put a period.
No, I get it. An internet famous spiritual influencer said you cannot be Christian and go to a Beyoncé concert. You were one of the first in 6 years to be able to pull together an interview with Beyoncé. And your light has not dimmed. Your anointing has not been compromised. The shadow of his hand is still hollowed over your head.
My God.
What do you say to, I don't know, there's a tour that just started. Parents saying, I can't go because it's going to be signs and wonders of dark spaces that are going to be there. What do you say to that?
Again, if God has given me the license, I don't need a general blanket rebuke.
Mm-hmm.
That's your personal convictions, not mine. And if I'm doing anything wrong, it's not just a concert with a particular artist. If I'm doing anything wrong, God will call me into accountability as long as I'm in constant communication and prayer with him. So my thing is, don't put the judgment. Talk to God about me because I am in communication with him, and then he will direct my path and he'll let me know what's right and what's wrong. But it concerns me when Christian influencers and other people in the space give their opinion as the word.
Yeah.
That's not the word. That's your revelation. That's not the revelation for the general body. So it's worrisome to me when I see influencers doing that.
When I'm a graduate of Morehouse College. When I came, the draw to Atlanta was the civil rights legacy. Martin Luther King. It was economic opportunity coming under Maynard Jackson curating Black millionaires in mass for the first time in America. I've been back here for 5 years, and the draw is different. Okay. Reality television, Tyler Perry, and entrepreneurship. Having lived a bi-coastal reality, is Atlanta the new Black Hollywood?
Your setups, man. I never know where you're going.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Is this the new Black Hollywood? And is new Black Hollywood just Hollywood with black faces? Is it just the same thing with melanin added to it? Was there anything different in this, quote, Hollywood culture that would be different than the other one?
You know what? Actually, maybe 10 years ago, I told a friend I would never move to Atlanta. I just feel no connection there. I just don't know what the buzz is. And here lately, I might need a property here. I don't think anything can replace Hollywood, but there is something special happening in the city of Atlanta, Georgia, in the television space, in the media, in the arts. And I would be a fool to not acknowledge it. And invest in it and want to be a part of it. So will it be the new Hollywood? I don't think so. But it's its own special place.
And that's great.
Where people can come here with a dream and see it come into fruition. Personally, I have so many friends who left Los Angeles because it just was not working out, whether it was financially or the roles were few and far between as they are for African Americans. And they came to Atlanta in search of that dream, and a lot of them are now leading Netflix shows with Tyler Perry. And so I have to pay respect and homage to the city and to what you all are curating down here. It's special.
No, that's great. Tell me what is like, I think one of the foremost actresses of this era, this generation, without peer, is Viola Davis. She is quintessentially a class act of everything that Meryl Streep was for white people.
Yes.
She is that. Tell me what it's like working with her.
Man, first of all, I want to know, do you wake up every day and like go to the thesaurus? Like, how do you get these words? Like, what is there a challenge that you did to get your lexicon to this point? I just want to know.
Then you have to invite me on your platform. Let you interview me.
Say less.
When I come on to yours.
Say less. We'll have you.
For all other comments, please put it right here. If you want to see me.
At Hollywood Confidential.
At Hollywood Confidential.
Man, I had to just take a beat.
No, thank you. So I read.
You want me to answer about Viola or no?
No, I'm going to answer you.
Okay.
I'm answering what you asked me.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yes. So I read in the autobiography of Malcolm X, where he read the dictionary from cover to cover twice. I have not. But this is a free tip I'm giving to everybody. You can enlist and enroll for Merriam-Webster to send you a word a day. And they will email to you a word a day, tell you how to phonetically pronounce it, tell you the definition, and tell you how to use it in a sentence. And so I receive an email every morning at 6 a.m. with my new word for the day.
Did I say it? Did I call it?
Yes.
I knew
that I try to add to my repertoire because I had to be prepared for Hollywood Confidential.
Oh, come on, man.
I had to. I've never been in Hollywood Confidential.
Just a smooth opera.
Not even in a byline.
All right, Elder.
You never even mentioned it. You didn't shout out my wedding. You didn't say nothing about me moving to Atlanta. Okay. I mean, have you highlighted any preachers? Just Bishop Jakes.
Oh, absolutely not Bishop Jakes. See?
You've never mentioned him for anything.
We are committed to going to the Stellar Awards every year.
Yes.
And you know what? We had a friend of yours.
Who?
Bishop William Murphy, and we did make mention of that. So
that was great.
The Bishop and Tasha Cobbs and Ty Tribbett and so many stars.
Oh no, that's great.
Faith-based arena, but we're going to add you.
Thank you.
This year.
Thank you.
This year. That's my word.
If you want to see him do it, add in the comments below.
Crazy.
I wanted to. Your book is dedicated to your dad. And I want to take a moment. I just lost my mom last year in September. And I am, for 2 months, I don't know when this is going to air. For 2 months, I've been bracing myself for Mother's Day. I got in my head, am I even going to church? I got in my head, do I want to preach? I got it in my head, am I going to go just sit with my sister? My sister lives in LA. Am I going to go sit with my sister for that weekend? Because I don't know how your journey is. I get in spaces, and there's a terminology that I've made up, where I curse encouragement.
Yes.
So I don't want you to check on me. I'm annoyed by you saying, am I okay?
Yeah.
And I appreciate it, but the hair on my neck stands up. Like, Lord, I really got to not just address it, I've got to articulate what my emotions are. So me losing a mother, you losing a father. My dad is still alive, thanks be to God, 81 years of age, driving a 3-wheel motorcycle, doing it.
Okay, Dad.
He's preaching more than I am.
Okay, Dad.
Tell me how your grief process has been, and where you are in the journey.
Yeah. My grief process has been, it's not linear. And it is difficult.
Yeah.
Because your world has ended, but the world wants you to continue and press forward. And I'm like, everybody, the world needs to stop. My dad is dead. And that's not how this works.
No.
Unfortunately, not to be explicit, but my father's body was still in the morgue 30 some hours, and I was still getting demands from work asking to approve covers. So sorry for your loss. Can you? I mean, I'll just say that my dad was an amazing man, and this happened completely unexpectedly.
Yeah.
He had just got a clean bill of health in January of last year. We were just together at the Stellar Awards. He got to see, he got to sit up front in the 5th row and talk to all his favorite gospel artists.
Right.
And we went to go see his first grandbaby right after that. And out of nowhere, man, he just, I don't know, he was completely healthy.
Yeah.
He took me and my sister to brunch, and he said, oh, well, we haven't been to, by ourselves, just the 3 of us, since, high school. I'm so proud of you guys.
Yeah.
The way your lives turned out, your purpose. And next thing you know, he just out of nowhere says, and if anything ever happens to me, I just found out that your mother is eligible for my pension and my Social Security. And I already set that up. And my will is in the drawer. And I let that in the rear view of my sister. I said, and a week later, we were sitting around reading a customized 12-page letter where he addressed all of us by name and walked through his finances, shared the password to his cell phone, his email, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. This is how much is in bonds. This is how much is in stocks. This is how much is in liquid. And then gave us specific, detailed, granular instruction on how to move forward in his absence. The one regret I do have is that I never got to tell him man to man, wow,
yeah,
you did that, like the respect level that I had just for the intentionality he moved with.
Yeah.
To provide us with that level of comfort and ease and grief. We didn't have to worry about a thing. We didn't even have to apply for the policy. Everything was handled. And if I could have one more conversation with him, it would be a salute to the man that he was.
As an aside, one, thank you for your bravery and your courage to even be able to share it. Secondly, Black families, get y'all stuff together.
Immediately.
It took us 2 months to find my mother's paperwork. We didn't know where nothing was.
Jesus.
We had to look in old purses and look in the bottom of drawers and all of that. So families is very uncomfortable, but it is so necessary that you have those conversations, as daunting as they may be. They are so necessary. I can't say it enough times. GoFundMe is not a plan.
Man.
So make sure that you got everything intact and everything in line. What would you want at the end of the day your legacy to be?
I want people to remember me as someone who believed in giving. Honestly, I learned a long time ago through Hollywood Confidential that service breeds purpose. And the whole world opened up to me, Bishop, when I had a posture of service. And so when you ask what would I want my legacy to be, it would be one of service, one of giving back, one of providing opportunity to people who were in need, and doing so cheerfully. I would want that to be my legacy.
I love it. The average Black person post-high school only reads 2 books for the rest of their life.
Wow.
Post-high school. If this is going to be one of them, and Saints, I ain't talking about the Bible. If this is going to be one of the ones that they read, why do they need to read this book?
You know, creating Hollywood Confidential 12 years ago now.
Wow.
Out of a need, I was running into broke actors and aspiring directors, many of who have gone on to win Oscars and Emmys. One of them being an amazing director named Matthew Cherry. He won an Oscar for a short called Hair Love. And he was sleeping on my couch.
No way.
Prior to way back in infancy stages of his career. And I fell in love with the plight of the Black actor. And I created Hollywood Confidential in direct connection with creatives like him. And so, what was the question?
Why do they need to buy this book?
And so 12 full years of helping creatives and directors and then producing content and working with Jennifer Lopez and working with Oprah Winfrey and working with Beyoncé, I started to see a divine thread or through line.
Who are them 3 people you just said?
I said Jennifer Lopez.
Yes.
I said Oprah Winfrey.
Yes.
Beyoncé.
Yes.
That's just 3. You want me to keep going?
No.
Okay.
I just found it interesting that all 3 of them are some way or another tied to Puffy.
This is y'all's Bishop.
That's not true.
Somebody come get him.
That's not true.
What's that got to do with the question?
No, I'm saying, and you know him too. I was just wondering, did he bring y'all together?
Switch his names. When I was looking back at my career and working with Tyler Perry or Viola Davis.
Yes.
Or an Angela Bassett. Or a Lupita Nyong'o.
None of whom are connected. But go ahead.
You see what I did there?
Yes.
I started to see a divine thread and through line through all of their successes. And I started to think about those creatives that I helped who were sleeping on my couch or I was paying their rent. And I thought to myself, now is the time to put everything you've learned, the principles that these people live by, into a book so that people can master personal stardom. So this is not a book about Hollywood or acting or being a creative. This is a book that's going to empower you. In these particular times, from the White House on down, we need positivity. And this book is designed to bring and be that light in a dark time that we're in. So I would definitely recommend this book to anybody who is in search of purpose, who is in search of landing their dream. who wants to be empowered and inspired, not just by my story, because my story is small, like a connecting thread throughout all of the stories of the 12 biggest people that I've worked with. So each chapter is a different principle that they've put into play and that I put into play to master personal stardom.
I want to be the 13th chapter. I want to see how you're going to help me get bigger to reach until all know.
Yes, sir.
I want to be your Christian project. I'm dead serious. You think I'm joking?
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll work on chapter 13 and send it back to you for your approval.
Filing chapter 13. I'm telling you. We'll just do that as an audio book.
Oh, okay. Got it. Production will be much more quick and efficient and seamless. Yeah. I'm with that. I have my people call your people.
No, just call me.
All right.
You can download it on Spotify. If you listen to this book, write it in the thread right here.
Just write it in the thread.
Yeah, just write it in the thread right.
Wow.
No, absolutely. Man, thank you. You are a breath of fresh air.
Oh, man, likewise.
No, you're great. I'm glad that you came.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
We got to do some things together.
I would love to. And if you give me your information,
yes,
we can stay in touch. I'm not one of those Hollywood people.
Yes.
You will hear back from me?
Yes. You shouldn't be saying all this right now because I've been telling people I knew you. So now you done exposed me saying that you don't even have my phone number. This is my old friend from Columbus, Ohio.
We have been in ministerial shared spaces together over the years.
Yes.
But I always prided myself on being behind the scenes.
Me too.
And not inserting myself in people's business.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Now, your producers are laughing about your stuff.
Yeah, no, they were laughing at you.
No, they were laughing at you.
No. But I'm grateful. I need you to do me a favor, please. I want you to please go buy this book. It's going to help you so that your light may so shine before men and before women that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. These first 12 chapters are absolutely amazing. But when you get to chapter 13, it's when the light is going to come on. Steve Jones, thank you, man.
Thank you. This is a pleasure.
I love you. I love you for no reason. Next time I see you, I'm wearing a hat. Thank you. I'll see y'all next time. Do me a favor, please stay locked in. If you know somebody who is emerging but frustrated, somebody who's trying to get to their next level, somebody who keeps knocking on doors and nobody is answering, I need you to share this podcast with them and let them know it is getting ready to happen for you. You can go from sitting on the couch to winning a Stella Award when you connect with Steve Jones. And it happens right here. God bless you. Stay locked in. I need you to like, follow, and share. I'll see you next time.